Thousands of people have mysteriously vanished in America's wilderness. Join us as we dive into the deep end of the unexplainable and try to piece together what happened. You are listening to Locations Unknown. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another special Part 1 Halloween episode of Locations Unknown. I'm your co-host, Joe Irado, and with me, as always, is a guy who knows that Frankenstein is the name of the scientist and not the monster, Mike Van de Bogart.
Oh, thank you, Joe, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. My kids get that confused. They think Frankenstein is
adults
the
get that confused.
So
we've just educated a lot of people and probably upset many more.
Right. So welcome to a special two-part episode. We will be releasing the part 2 of it. Whoa.
I love this music you chose for this. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It's different.
Yes.
So part 2 will be going live on Halloween. So
Ooh.
So yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Just a few updates before we get going here. We have some new Patreon shout outs. We got Krista Anderson, Tessa Simmons, Taylor Hutchinson, Josie Molitor, and Eileen Schumann. So thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
Supporting the show. If anyone listening wants to hear part 2 right away, join Patreon because they'll both be going up probably tomorrow.
Ooh, that is a great reason to join Patreon.
Yeah. So go ahead and join.
And that's the $100 a month subscription that gets both of them right away? Is that what it is?
No.
Just kidding.
As cheap as $5. And you get a bumper sticker.
And what about our phone number, Mike?
Oh, you can call 208-391-6913.
I feel like we should tell people on Halloween, if you're out partying and having a good time,
yes,
call the number.
Call the number. And
maybe be whatever persona your costume is. Ooh. And then if enough people call, we could do a Patreon episode for all the callers, very shortly afterwards.
I like that.
That'd be a fun idea.
Yeah, so call the show, especially on Halloween if you're out and having a few drinks. We'd like to hear from you. So
yes, if you're over 21.
Over 21.
Otherwise, after you've had a few juice boxes.
Yeah.
For the younger viewers and listeners.
Kitty cocktails.
I actually love kitty cocktails.
Do you?
I do.
So sugary.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a hummingbird.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Anyway.
We are really going off the rails.
That's okay. It's a Halloween episode.
It is. Pre-Halloween. Halloween Eve.
Yeah.
So we got some other cool shows on our network you can check out. Off the Trails, The Weirdos We Know, Who Runs This Park, and Crime Off the Grid. If you want to support Locations Unknown, you can obviously join Patreon, YouTube memberships, premium subscriptions on Apple. What else? We got some other stuff you can join.
Let's just get going.
Yeah, get going. Finally, we do have a store up and running where you can buy stuff from Locations Unknown, help support the show. And if you don't have any money, things are tight, always just follow us, share our posts and our episodes, and just talk to people you know about Locations Unknown as many times as you can until they get annoyed with you.
Yeah, literally everyone you see.
Yes.
Just tell them about it. And that's how you can pay for the show for free.
Yes.
So, all right, everybody, let's gear up and get out to explore Locations Unknown. January 1982. 2 women disappeared hours apart while hitchhiking from Breckenridge, Colorado, during one of the worst blizzards the Rockies had seen in decades. As temperatures plunged below negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, friends and rescuers searched the frozen corridors of Pike National Forest, only adding to the mystery. Join us this week for part 1 of the mysterious disappearances of Bobbie Jo Oberholtzer and Annette Schnee. All right, This case takes place in the central Colorado's high country spanning Summit County, Park County, and Clear Creek County. So some of the key areas: Hoosier Pass Summit sits directly on the boundary between Pike National Forest in the south and the White River National Forest in the north. Since we can't cover all the various locations in the profile, we're going to talk about Pike National Forest, its geographic center of the case, and many of the case's events either fall on its border or inside the forest. So that's going to be the focus. So as we said, this is in Colorado. It was established February 11th in 1892. Excuse me.
Ooh, we'd get some.
I know, right?
Calls about that.
So we're going to just do some interesting facts about Halloween.
Yeah.
So early jack-o'-lanterns were carved from turnips, not pumpkins, to scare away evil spirits in Irish folklore.
Turnips aren't that big.
They're not. I feel like it'd be creepier because you'd have a lot more of them.
Yeah.
And they'd look like weird faces.
Like shrunken heads.
Yes. Early costumes, which sometimes included animal heads, were originally worn to disguise people from spirits on the Samhain, an ancient Celtic festival that is the origin of Halloween. Is it Samhain? Samhain? I bet it's Samhain, an ancient Celtic festival that is the origin of Halloween.
Sure.
Trick-or-treating evolved from the medieval practice of souling, where people would beg for soul cakes in exchange for praying for the souls of the dead. The mask worn by the killer in the 1978 film Halloween was a $2 William Shatner or Captain Kirk mask that was spray painted white. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Candy corn, the worst candy in the world, was originally called chicken feed when it was first marketed in the late 1800s to appeal to rural communities. And did you know that the original chicken feed is still what's in circulation today because no one in their right mind would actually eat it?
I don't understand why people like candy corn. I think it tastes disgusting.
It
tastes like you're chewing on candle wax.
Yeah, I think every 5 years I give it a shot.
Yeah, I do
I'm just like, maybe I'm missing something.
Like, nope, still
awful.
And
it hits my mouth. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was eating oil.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And if you like candy corn, maybe, I don't know.
But people, every year, it's in every... Like, you go to work and people bring in Halloween candy. It's full of candy corn.
There's a comedian that talks about how he believes there's a secret society of people that go out and they just collect all the candy corn that nobody eats, and then it's just recirculated back into the economy, and that no new candy corn has actually been made in the last 50 years.
I could believe that.
Yeah. So anyway, my brother-in-law, Matt, loves candy corn, and, well, there's something wrong with Matt. A full moon on Halloween is a rare event, happening only about 3 or 4 times a century.
Did not know that either.
Yeah. The famous magician Harry Houdini died on Halloween night in 1926. In medieval times, black cats were associated with witches and were thought to have supernatural powers. I think they still do. The word witch comes from the Old English word Wicca, which means wise woman. Did you know that? So if you're a woman and you're called a witch, it's actually someone calling you a wise woman. So you can thank them and say, this did not do what you thought it did. All right, so we're going to get back to the climate of the area. That was fun.
Yeah.
Some of the climate: Pike National Forest stretches from 6,000 feet to the foothills to over 14,000 feet on the peaks. Winters up here aren't just cold, they're punishing. It's a cold, dry, continental mountain climate, thanks to our friends over at the Köppen Climate Classification System, blah, blah, blah. Long, harsh winters and short, cool summers. Primary weather influences are continental. Typical January weather: polar air masses, orographic lift from the mosquito and front ranges, and frequent winter blizzards driven by Pacific systems. So you would expect to see daytime highs often hover in the teens or low 20s. Night drops well below zero, sometimes -10 to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds whip through the passes at 30 to 50 miles per hour, turning blowing snow into blinding whiteouts. Hoosier Pass and the surrounding ridgelines can pile up to 200 inches of snow per year. During storms, visibility can vanish completely, just a wall of white where a road and sky become one. I've been in a blizzard in the Rockies. It's pretty terrifying, actually. You just kind of have to sit down and wait.
Yeah.
You don't want to walk off a ledge because you totally could. During the week of January 6, 1982, an Arctic front swept through central Colorado. So temperatures plunged to -25 degrees Fahrenheit overnight, and wind chills were near -40 degrees. Snowdrifts grew several feet deep, and even main roads were nearly impassable. Search teams later fought through sub-zero wind chills and near-zero visibility. So a little bit about the terrain. Pike National Forest spans over 1 million acres across central Colorado, climbing from the dry foothills west of Denver to the high alpine ridges of Mosquito and Front Ranges. The landscape around Hoosier Pass and Fairplay is carved by glaciers and rivers into narrow valleys and sharp ridgelines. Roads cling to the mountainsides, and drop-offs vanish into timbered ravines. That'd be terrifying to drive through in a whiteout.
Or just even in any kind of snow cover on the roads.
Absolutely. When it's slippery. Low valleys sit around 8,000 feet, dotted with Ponderosa pine. Ponderosa pine. There's Ponderosas up in them there hills.
Yeah.
The passes where the disappearances occurred rise above 11,500 feet, right at the tree line where only twisted Oberholtzer trees and rock fields remain.
I've done something at home that really irritates my wife. When we have tacos.
You say the word Oberholtzer too much?
No, I've gotten the girls to say tortillas instead. Said, "Are we having tortillas tonight?"
I'm sure she loves that because it's all three of you.
Yeah,
just ganging up on her.
Tortillas
After a long day at the hospital.
Yeah.
She's got to come home to tortillas. All right, the air is thin, dry.
I don't know why I thought of that.
I'm on her side, by the way.
Because you said Ponderosa.
Ponderosa.
I call them tortillas.
Yeah, Ponderosa to get some tortillas.
Some tortillas.
So the air is thin, dry, and brutally exposed to the wind. Hazards for anyone hiking the area include steep switchbacks and narrow passes that ice over in minutes, hidden mine shafts and old timber cuts, relics of the Colorado's mining era, avalanche chutes on the southern approach to Hoosier Pass. Slabs can break loose after even a few inches of snow. Sparse cell signal, which at that time there was no cell signal.
No cell signal.
So those are just some of the dangers. And then to add to that, any animals, which is a joke. So winter in the high Rockies doesn't buzz with life. It goes very quiet. Most wildlife has migrated downslope or gone to ground, leaving the forest still and eerie. Large mammals that remain active. Elk and mule deer, herded in the lower valleys around Fairplay and Blue River. Their tracks are some of the few signs of movement in the deep snow. Mountain lions, year-round residents that shadow deer herds, rarely seen but perfectly adapted to the timberline slopes. Coyote and red foxes, they are common scavengers. They're yips and track cuts through the silence of the snowfields. And black bear, they're in hibernation this time of year, unlikely to be encountered. So other hazards you'd face, hypothermia and frostbite, obviously, at negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit with wind. Exposed skin can freeze in minutes. Numbness comes long before pain. Whiteouts and disorientation. A blizzard can erase every landmark. Headlights, flashlight beams bounce back off the walls of white, so even short walks off the road become mazes. And if that's not enough, avalanches and snow slab breaks. So south-facing slopes of Hoosier Pass and Mosquito Range build unstable layers. A passing truck, a skier, even a gust can trigger a slide. And then, as we said, old mine shafts, thin air. Isolation and delayed rescue. So once storms close the passes, it can take hours, even days, before search teams reach remote sites. Radios fail, batteries die fast in the cold. Nighttime conditions. In January, darkness falls before 5 p.m. Temperatures plummet another 20 degrees after sunset, and the sound carries for miles. Wind moaning through the timberlines, distant cracking ice, and nothing else.
Pretty eerie.
Yeah, it's like, just don't be out there.
Yeah.
In
January, it sounds pretty...
Unless you're filming a TV show about surviving out there.
Yes.
Just don't need to be
Unless
out there.
you're Bear Grylls.
Yeah, well, he even goes to hotels
Yeah.
in between takes, from what I hear.
Yes.
So that will make more people mad. So some tips. Respect the altitude and the cold. Even seasoned hikers underestimate 11,000-foot winter terrain. The air is thin, dehydration comes fast, and hypothermia comes faster. Move slowly, hydrate often, take deliberate rest stops. You burn calories and water far quicker than you realize. Layer like your life depends on it, because it does. Base layer, you want moisture-wicking wool or synthetic. Mid-layer, fleece or down for insulation, and an outer shell that is waterproof and windproof. Cotton kills. Once wet, it drains heat from your body 10 times faster. Do not wear cotton.
No.
Mind your extremities. Bring insulated gloves and mitt shells. Frostbite often starts in the fingers. Chemical hand and toe warmers can buy you hours of safety. Keep spare dry socks in a waterproof bag. Changing them can prevent frostbite and trench foot.
I would say packing extra dry socks on any backcountry hiking trip is like the biggest thing you could do for comfort.
I was going to say, like, besides safety, just comfort.
Yeah.
Like the little bit of, if you can keep your feet happy longer.
Yes.
You don't realize how important that is till you do.
Because after hiking all day, even if it's not that cold out and you didn't go through water, your feet are going to sweat and your socks are going to be wet and damp.
Well, and I know I get made fun of this. I love my Crocs. Not for winter.
No.
But, like, they weigh nothing. I clip them to the outside of my bag, and when you get to camp,
yeah,
you can just put your bare feet in there. It gets wind on them. You walk around. It's just lovely.
Joe puts his Crocs on.
I'm wearing my Crocs right now.
His Frappuccino.
These are the ones I bring hiking, too. It was a late night, and I was like, I'm just wearing my Crocs.
If they're listening, we're open to sponsorships.
Absolutely. They're the perfect camp shoe.
Yeah.
You can't hike in them.
No.
They would be, but if you set up camp and you're just bumming around, you can hang your socks up, just have your bare feet in there, their protection, put them in sport mode.
Yeah.
And then you're all good to go. And they weigh nothing. You clip them to the outside of the bag.
Yeah.
There's no weight. All right, I'm getting off the Crocs now. Gear for survival, not comfort. Trekking poles double as probes for hidden drifts or holes. Always carry a map, compass, and GPS if you can. Phone batteries die in sub-zero temps, so just be prepared to not rely on that. Pack an emergency bivvy, space blanket, and high-calorie snacks, nut, chocolate, and jerky. So that's where you want to get like the pre-packaged stuff that's just loaded with calories.
Yeah.
Have a headlamp and extra batteries. Again, darkness comes before 5. Know the snow. Avoid slopes steeper than 30 degrees after fresh snowfall. That is avalanche country. Stay to ridge lines or timbered terrain where snowpack is more stable. Carry and know how to use an avalanche beacon, probe, and shovel if venturing off established trails. So navigation hazards, as we said, in a whiteout, even experienced hikers lose orientation within minutes because you're just walking in a sea of white. You can't see anything. If you can see, you want to use trees or rocks as visual anchors. Mark waypoints on GPS frequently. If you lose the trail, stop moving and reorient before continuing. So there's been several times I've been up in the Rockies where I just tucked down behind a big boulder to shield from the wind, and I've sat for an hour, and you just wait, and then it clears up, you get a clear sky, and you can see again. It's like not worth losing your course.
Yeah, we've said many, many times the worst thing you do once you realize you lost is to continue wandering around. Best thing to do is stop wherever you're moving. If you can figure out where you are, if you have a map, topographic map, any kind of navigation device, and can reorient to yourself, that's better. But continuing to just wander around once you're lost just makes it harder for searchers to find you.
You know what a great way to think about it is? The quicker you stop, the closer you were to being on track.
Yeah.
So if you do what we always tell you to, which is someone knows your itinerary and your plan, the less you wander off course, the more likely you'll be found. That's the whole point of stopping.
Yeah.
So it's not, try and get to this area. They're going to be looking on your route first, so you want to be as close to that route as possible.
I mean, if you are near, like, a flowing river that has clearings on each side of the bank, it might make sense to walk down to the river and then stay put. Yeah. Because you're
like within eye shot so you're not like in the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that you would be spotted from, drones and helicopters. But wandering around is the worst thing you can do.
Continuing to move.
Yeah.
If you don't know where you are.
And you're going to, if you're going to be out there extended, like a few days, you're just burning calories.
Absolutely.
Like, if you just hunker down and don't move, you're actually conserving.
Shelter and conserve.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mike, tell us about Bobbie Jo.
So we have 2 subjects in this episode. So the first one is Bobbie Jo Oberholtzer. She was approximately born in 1952. Date missing January 6th of 1982. She was a female, age 29. Body description, Caucasian female. She was physically fit, described as outgoing and friendly. She was 5'3", 100 pounds. She had blonde strawberry hair, blue eyes, no tattoos or distinguishing marks publicly noted. Often wore long hair, typically bundled under winter hats during the season. And this is some of the reported clothing gear she was last seen in. So blue ski jacket, wool sweater and jeans, brown boots, blue backpack, wool gloves, brass key, hook, /ring, and this was crafted by her husband, Jeff, for self-defense purposes. Personality-wise, she was described by friends as independent, warm, and adventurous. She was known for her outdoorsy lifestyle and strong social circle in Breckenridge and Alma. She was considered very responsible and reliable. She rarely missed check-ins with Jeff. She loved the mountain life and embraced the small-town community spirit. And I've got the description, kind of what we're looking at in the name of the picture. So,
Yeah, this is Jeff and Bobbie.
yeah, so Joe is, and Joe, listeners have actually said they appreciate when I describe the pictures, the ones that are listening.
Oh,
So-
I didn't say that they didn't appreciate it.
No, you made fun of me one time for describing what was on the screen.
Not describing what was on the screen, describing what I was doing.
Oh, okay. Well, on the screen, we have pictures of Bobbie and Annette and other interesting things about part one of the case. So, medical issues, none publicly reported. Occupation, hobby. So she was a receptionist at a real estate office in Breckenridge. She enjoyed skiing, hiking, mountain living. She was engaged in the local bar and community scene, common among Breckenridge residents at the time. Her experience in the wilderness, she was described as highly experienced with the local terrain, regularly commuted over Hoosier Pass, and she was familiar with snow travel and winter driving and hitchhiking conditions. Experienced in this location, so she lived in Alma for several years, frequently crossed the pass for work and social outings in Breckenridge, and she was very comfortable and familiar with the risks of high country weather and remote travel routes. So very, I'm sure, most residents of these mountain towns would have a similar profile as her. Very, you live there, you're dealing with it every
the
day.
area, and you know how it all works.
Yeah. So the other subject of our case is Annette. She was approximately born in 1960, went missing on January 6th of 1982. She was a female, age 21. Body description, Caucasian female, petite, athletic build. Described as pretty and quiet with a shy demeanor. She was 5'3", 102 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Other distinguishing characteristics, nothing really noted. She was described as having a calm, kind presence and a soft voice. Reported clothing at the time of her disappearance were dark pants, jeans or work trousers, heavy winter coat, wool sweater, winter boots, orange booty socks, purse and prescription medication from a recent doctor visit, and personality. She was known to friends as kind, gentle, and hardworking. She was an independent young woman who loved Colorado's mountain life and snow country. She was shy but friendly, often trusted people too easily, according to family. And she was described by coworkers as the type of person who would never turn down helping someone. Medical issues. We don't know why she visited the doctor, but she might have had a possible minor illness or maybe some type of prescription renewal. Nothing chronic was reported. Her occupation, she was a housekeeper at the Holiday Inn in Frisco. By day, she was a cocktail waitress in Breckenridge by night. She had moved to Breckenridge from Sioux City, Iowa in 1981, just seeking independence and adventure. She enjoyed photography, hiking, skiing. Experience in the wilderness, it was reportedly very limited experience in deep backcountry, but familiar with mountain town travel and snow conditions from living in Summit County. And she was likely accustomed to short-distance hitchhiking between work and home.
Okay, so, she's lived in the area. She understands what it's like in the winters.
One of the things that amazed me about this, and maybe people that live in some of these mountain towns are in that time, but hitchhiking was so prevalent.
I think it was more prevalent back then, but I could totally see that because I think about even when we go out to national parks,
Yeah.
we see hitchhikers and people just looking for a ride up a road or whatever. So I don't feel like that'd be that uncommon out there. I think it's uncommon to us because we're kind of city slickers.
Yeah, and I just wouldn't trust picking anyone up these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of surprised me. They hitchhike to and from work, and pretty much it was like their Uber back then. It was hitchhiking.
That's wild.
I think, think about it, there's no cabs probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and you have people who understand how to drive in that area.
Yeah.
So you're just, if someone's going one way and you are between two towns, they're going that way. They're not going to stop anywhere else. So it's like, hey, can I hop in with you?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I don't know. It just kind of surprised me because I'm in this day and age, I feel like it would be pretty dangerous to hitchhike or pick hitchhikers up, depending on where you live.
Uber is kind of like hitchhiking.
Kind of.
It's not hard to become an Uber driver.
No, but you still have to have some kind of account and identification.
Yeah, but think about it. Really think about it. What do you need to become an Uber driver? A driver's license.
Yeah.
And no prior criminal history.
Yeah. So
right now, what do you need to be a guy giving someone a ride in the car? You have a driver's license.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, the bar is a little lower.
Yeah.
At least, well, I don't know where we're going with this. But
Yeah, I'm just saying it's kind of, we're just digitally hitchhiking now and calling it something different.
Yeah, and paying for it.
Yeah.
So
obviously you're tied to the person. They know who did it. You that, but you're still hopping in the car with a complete stranger.
Yeah, it's true.
So anyway, go on.
And sometimes they are weird.
More than sometimes.
Yeah. So I actually did Uber. I drove Uber for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, years ago.
You're the guy. You're the one that creeps me out.
No, I picked up. We'll have to some Patreon episode talk about some of the people I interacted with.
Okay.
Uber driving.
I might want to start doing that when my kids move out, just for fun.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
To the timeline. Here we go.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, everyone. We'll cut all that out.
No, we won't.
So it is 1977. Bobbie Jo married Jeff and moved to Alma, Colorado, near Breckenridge. She worked as a receptionist, like I said, at a real estate company and often hitchhiked to work. November 1981, Jeff, husband of Bobbie Jo, gave Annette a ride while she was hitchhiking in Breckenridge and provided her with his appliance repair business card. So small world.
I'm sure there was not a lot of people in those towns back then.
Jeff, who is the husband of Bobbie, also gave Annette a ride, which and then they both end up going missing.
Okay. All right.
So
stop alluding to things.
I'm not alluding to anything.
All right.
This was a huge case.
I'm just gonna zoom in on Jeff and stuff.
Some people listening, I'm not going to give away anything, so Joe, I don't need to hear it. But some people listening have probably heard of this case because it was a very big case for many, many years. That's all I will say.
All right.
And we will all get into that here in the next part 2. So, January 6th, 1982, it's morning, possibly around 7:15 a.m., Bobbie Jo, like I said, who is a 29-year-old free-spirited woman who lived in Alma, Colorado with her husband Jeff, left home and hitchhiked to her job as a receptionist in Breckenridge. She carried a large brass clip with a hook and ring that Jeff had handmade for her as a self-defense tool. That day, she actually received a promotion at work and planned to celebrate with friends after her shift. It's now January 6th of 1982. It's around noon, or it's around 4:30 to 4:45 p.m. Annette, who is a 21-year-old from Sioux City, Iowa, who had recently moved to Colorado, worked as a housekeeper at the Holiday Inn in Frisco, and then she would head on over to Breckenridge, where she worked as a cocktail waitress. So she finished her housekeeping shift at the Holiday Inn, and then she visited a doctor's office, and then hitchhiked to a drugstore in Breckenridge to pick up the medication. So she was last seen about 4:30, 4:45, talking to an unidentified dark-haired woman inside the drugstore. This was actually during a pretty bad blizzard that Joe even mentioned in the summary, where the temperatures got down to -20, and this is when she began hitchhiking home towards her house in Frisco, Blue River. So it is January 6th of 1982. It's around 6:20 to 6:21 p.m. Bobbie Jo calls her husband Jeff from the Village Pub in Breckenridge, saying she was having drinks with friends to celebrate her promotion and would be home soon, as she had arranged a ride. It's now January 6th of 1982, same day, but it's around 7:30 to 7:50 p.m. Bobbie Jo left the pub with friends and began hitchhiking home towards Alma via the Hoosier Pass. This would be the last confirmed sighting. So it's now midnight on the same day. Jeff wakes up at home in Alma after falling asleep watching TV, realizing his wife hadn't returned. So he drives to Breckenridge to check with her friends, who confirmed she had left earlier. He then tried to report her missing to the Breckenridge Police Department, but officers told him it was too early. Obviously, you can't report someone under 24 hours, and they advised him to wait, so he returned home alone. It's now January 7th of 1982.
That's got to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Like, what happened?
Especially in a small town.
Yeah.
Like, where...
What happened?
Exactly.
So it's early morning, around 7:45 a.m. A local rancher, roughly 30 miles from Breckenridge, found Bobbie Jo's driver's license and wallet contents scattered in his driveway, likely blown there by the wind from the previous night's blizzard. The rancher contacts Jeff, who immediately drives towards the ranch. En route, Jeff spots Bobbie Jo's distinctive blue backpack on the roadside near Hoosier Pass, along with her right glove and a bloody tissue. These discoveries heightened his alarm and prompted immediate action. So, not a good situation. Something happened. There's the backpack.
Yeah, I just had the ranch pulled up, and I was also playing with the map.
So, yeah, what are we looking at here?
Where she was last seen at the Village pub. And then it just shows the corridor.
Okay.
So, all right. So keep going.
All right. So it's now January. Oh, there's the ranch.
Yeah.
Desolate.
Yeah, you can just get an idea of there's nothing there.
Yeah. So it's January 7th, 1982. It's the morning. Jeff and his friends organized a search party, including cross-country skiers. Colorado Bureau of Investigation agents joined. They recovered the brass key ring, which I said was handmade by Jeff for self-defense, in a parking lot near Hoosier Pass, and found an orange, one of the orange socks, which did not belong to Bobbie Jo, and that was about 100 yards away. January 7th, still 1982. So we were talking about Bobbie's disappearance. Annette also disappeared that same night, but there was kind of a lack of action for her disappearance. It wasn't immediately reported because she lived alone and she had no immediate family in the area to notice her absence that night. So her failure to appear for work at the Holiday Inn in Frisco on January 7th raised initial concern among coworkers, but no formal action was taken until the following day. So on January 8th of 1982, a coworker formally reported Annette missing to the Frisco Police Department after she failed to show up for her housekeeping shifts at the Holiday Inn for 2 consecutive days, which was very unlikely or unusual for her. She was very always, good at making her shifts.
And for those that are listening, that's like half a block away from both of them were last seen.
Yeah.
So I know they haven't confirmed Annette's last appearance because it's a couple days late, but that's wild.
Yeah. So, and like I said, when was Annette's last contact?
Last seen at 4:45 on the 6th.
Yeah. She was last seen at the drugstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Approximately at 4:45.
Yeah.
And Bobbie Jo was at 7:50 p.m. on the same night.
Yeah.
So very likely, I won't get into it.
Well, and if you zoom out, so Bobbie Jo would have been going to Alma. So
down here.
Down there.
And
South. And Annette would have been hitchhiking to Frisco. So
going north.
The interesting thing is everything seems to be culminating around the pass, even though one was supposed to be going one way, one was supposed to be going the other way. So it's interesting. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
So
got it registered.
All right. So obviously on the 7th, like I said, Bobbie Jo was setting off alarm bells with her disappearance. They were starting to find things of hers out on the roads near the pass. There's the keychain thing that her husband made that was also like a self-defense tool.
Yeah, and then the sock.
And then, yeah, that was one of the socks that was found. And then I think I have a picture of the glove in there. Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, interesting. We're starting to find pieces of, clothing and stuff from these people that were they're missing. And finally, on the 8th, Annette is formally reported as missing. This prompted police to begin tracing her last known movements, focusing on her visit to the Breckenridge drugstore around 4:30 to 4:45 p.m. on January 6th, where a witness later recalled that she was last seen speaking with an unidentified dark-haired woman. The police contacted Annette's family, including her sisters, Cindy, French, and Karen, via phone call that provided no specific details about her disappearance. Karen began organizing relatives to travel to Colorado to assist with the search. It's now January 9th of 1982. Authorities noted potential similarities while probing the case and learned of Annette's disappearance. And then Jeff, was the husband of Bobbie, was actually questioned about both of their disappearances. Unfortunately, so now it's January 9th to July 3rd of 1982. Unlike the rapid discovery of Bobbie Jo's belongings, Annette's case saw no immediate breakthroughs. Search efforts were limited by the harsh winter conditions, including deep snow and sub-zero temperatures, which made it difficult to comb remote areas. Police and volunteers conducted periodic searches in the Breckenridge-Frisco area, focusing on roads and trails Annette might have taken while hitchhiking, but no significant clues like personal belongings were found during this period. Her family, including her sisters Cindy and Karen, remained in Colorado for some time, assisting with inquiries and distributing missing persons flyers, but the trail grew cold as the weeks turned to months. And the lack of physical evidence and rural expansive terrain posed significant obstacles. So we'll get into theories from the time period of what people thought happened. And I'm going to ask Joe his thoughts on this.
All right.
Because he does not know this case.
Yeah, I was going to say it before because I ask questions. I wonder if people don't understand that a lot of times, most of the time, almost every time, I come into this thing raw, so I can ask questions like the listeners would ask. So I'm hearing the story also with you.
So Joe doesn't know the case. I didn't know the case before I researched it, which is kind of shocking. So we'll get into theories. So the first theory that people were talking about at the time, hold on here.
Did you lose it?
My mouse stopped working.
Okay.
So it was accidental exposure theory. So this theory goes, when both women went missing during one of the harshest storms of the winter, some locals and even some of the early investigators suspected they had simply been caught in the blizzard and died of exposure or disorientation.
Boom.
Why this theory worked at the time? So temperatures were freezing. It was minus 20. Wind chills were minus 40. Blinding snow. The pass is frequently closed during the winter because of drifting snow. Can even trap experienced locals. Both women were known to hitchhike and could have been dropped off short of their destinations. And without any immediate evidence of foul play, authorities treated exposure as the most likely explanation for at least the first 24 hours of their disappearance.
I'll be honest, that's not a crazy way to lean.
Yeah.
In a small town, like the odds of like a terrible crime happening is probably rare, or like is rare compared to that. So I wouldn't fault them for potentially thinking that right away.
Yes, but I mean the first 24 hours with that kind of bad weather.
Yes.
Not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Why this theory kind of falls apart and why it did fall apart pretty quickly during the investigation and search was the amount of personal belongings found scattered near the pass, driver's license, backpack, glove, tissue with blood. Mm-hmm. And Bobbie Jo was familiar with the pass and unlikely to have misjudged the route that badly. So That's one theory. Second theory that was getting thrown around was hitchhiker abduction or local driver theory. So as soon as both women were confirmed to have been last seen hitchhiking south of Breckenridge, within hours of each other, investigators began suspecting a single driver or serial predator who would pick them up. So why does this theory potentially work? So hitchhiking was routine in the Breckenridge ski community, so predatory driver could have easily offered rides without suspicion. Witnesses placed Bobbie Jo and Annette at similar locations, the Main Street area, heading toward Alma and Frisco. So Joe had that up on the map.
Yeah,
they were
I'll put the map
less
back
than a week or less than a block away from each other.
Yeah, that's the wild thing is when I saw that, my initial thought was like, okay, one person picked both of them up.
Yeah.
And used the storm as, hey, get in here. I'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And they would be, I would imagine, very willing, if the wind chill's that bad, to jump in with someone who's like, yeah, I'll give you a ride.
And if you hitchhike every day,
Oh, yeah.
You're just,
It's their normal mode of transportation.
and nothing bad has happened. You're very, like whoever says, yeah, I'll take you, like, sweet, let's go.
Especially in those conditions, if
Yeah.
you're out and it's freezing and someone's like, get in this warm car.
Yeah. So
Not saying it was the right decision. I'm just saying I understand it. It makes sense.
yeah, so another reason why this theory held some weight was there were no reports of mechanical failure or distress that would suggest they left vehicles voluntarily. And like I said, the close timing and proximity led to talk of a South Park highway killer through that term, though that term was never official. Suspects at the time, so Jeff, the husband of Bobbie Jo, was considered initially because he was last to see Bobbie Jo alive, and he was one of the few people that discovered her belongings out in the woods. So, but then they, unidentified local drivers known for offering rides to hitchhikers, so they were questioning people in the community that were very frequently picking people up. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just, uncovering every rock.
It's small towns. I'm sure they know all the usual suspects.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like the bad people, but just, these people are known for giving hitchhikers rides.
Yeah, and even early tips included truckers passing through on US 285 and Colorado 9. So they were, even trying to, track down any, big rig truckers that were going through the area. So there's another theory that people call the two separate incidents theory. So this is pretty much what it sounds. It's each woman vanished under similar circumstances, but from slightly different towns, Breckenridge versus Frisco. And there was no evidence linking them at the time. So another theory was a serial offender or transient killer theory. Some detectives floated the idea of a passing serial offender, possibly a truck driver or drifter, targeting women along mountain highways. Colorado in the 1970s and early 80s had seen multiple unsolved hitchhiker murders, Clear Creek, Jefferson, and Larimer counties. So
Okay, maybe it was more common than I thought.
not outside the realm of possibilities. So the case's proximity to Interstate 70 made traveling offender plausible. Locals also made a lot of sightings of out-of-state plates at the time and unfamiliar trucks in town. But, there was no physical evidence tied to any transient or trucker to the scene, and weather conditions made it unlikely anyone unrelated to the region was even on those back roads at that time.
I was wondering that. I was going back and forth in my head about if someone who's going to abduct people would look at that as an opportunity, or if it was bad enough where even people like that are just like, I'm not from here, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like,
well, which one do you think? Like, because I feel like that wouldn't be opportunistic because you risk being caught in snowdrifts or like you risk not being able to get away. If you're going to get in the mind of someone who's going to do something heinous.
I think the weather probably more strongly rules out someone from out of town if we're going the foul play route of doing it, just because, like you said, someone that's not experienced in driving in those conditions could easily get stuck and then get caught, or die themselves.
That's where I'm leaning.
So,
but I could be convinced the other way if someone who knew what they were talking about told me otherwise.
Okay. Well, keep listening, Joe.
I will.
We'll wrap up the theories here pretty quick. So another one was domestic or familiar connection theory. So because Jeff discovered many of the items himself, he obviously became a prime focus early on, which is a standard procedure when a spouse reports and finds evidence. This initially worked because he had last known the contact and had, opportunity. Early blood testing couldn't yet exclude him, and investigators hadn't established a clear alternate suspect. Though eventually over time, this theory faded because Jeff passed some polygraph testing. Blood on the glove
Unreliable.
Yeah, unreliable. Blood on the glove didn't match him once DNA testing became available, and witnesses confirmed Bobbie Jo's upbeat behavior that evening and no marital strife. So probably not a family-related incident based on early evidence.
Okay.
The final theory here really is, lost in the wilderness or voluntary disappearance theory. So a few locals speculated Annette might have voluntarily disappeared, perhaps overwhelmed or planning a fresh start. This very. Oh, you're gonna.
No, I'm looking for images.
Oh, you're gonna wreck it for yourself.
Even just by looking at images of Jeff?
I wouldn't.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's the one
Settle
time.
down.
This
Settle
is the
down,
one
Joe.
time where it makes sense for you to say what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is the one time.
Calm down there, Joe.
Yeah, because I wasn't showing the screen yet.
No, I would.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Final theory. We're almost.
Just so you know, I was zooming in on him before I even searched anything.
Oh, I mean that's Jeff.
I know.
Okay.
I was.
That's fine.
All right. I'll get into it in theory
I
time.
put him in part 1.
All right. Okay.
Finally, the last theory: lost in the wilderness or voluntary disappearance. So, like I said, a few locals might have suggested this maybe. One reason why it might have worked was she was young. She was 21, new to the state, had recently told coworkers she wanted a change. Hitchhiking gave her freedom of movement, so leaving town without notice seemed plausible. Why it doesn't really work, and most people didn't think this was the correct theory, was, Annette left personal belongings, medication, and money behind. She failed to contact any family, which was uncharacteristic according to her sisters, and the extreme cold made voluntary travel on foot really improbable. So those are all the theories. Joe, I'm curious to hear what you think.
Well, I'm going to go right to my, I won't even call it off the deep end, but my Hollywood hunch.
Okay.
I'm following, what would be a plot line that would be a movie? I have a feeling that Jeff had something for Annette.
Okay.
And I'm going to go down this road of, he was married to Bobbie Jo, gave a ride to Annette, ended up, there's some sort of he fell for her.
Yeah.
Wanted to have his wife out of the picture. And Annette isn't necessarily on board with that.
Yeah.
He makes a move, unalives his wife.
Yes.
Annette finds out, and then he has to deal with her.
Okay.
I'm jumping right to the I think it's some
a
love triangle tragedy.
Gone wrong.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not going to give a theory because I researched the case and know what happened. But maybe that is what happened. Maybe it's not.
Did I just ruin the whole show? Did I nail it?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
So for everyone listening, there will be a part 2 where we explain everything that happened, and we will learn if Joe's theory is right or wrong.
I mean, they were abducted and murdered. That's what I know.
That's what you think?
That's my theory. I'm going to say that's what I know. I don't actually know this.
Yeah.
I promise I've never heard of this case before. But I'm just going off of they're right next to each other. They're definitely is connected somehow. The odds of them both being randomly picked up going the same direction, I think, is low.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm naturally going towards there is a connection between all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then that's how this happened.
Okay. Well, like I said, we are recording part 2. It will be released on Halloween. Ooh. Unless you subscribe to our Patreon channel, it will be, both episodes will be available probably tomorrow.
Find out how right or wrong I am.
Yes. So
thanks again for tuning into our show. We appreciate you all for listening and sharing Locations Unknown with your friends and family. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Yeah,
the LinkedIn page still works, where you can find the videos of each episode, not on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to support the show monetarily, visit our website, our Facebook store, and buy some sweet, sweet swag.
Like this hat.
Additionally, you can subscribe to our Patreon account on YouTube and Apple, where you'll have access to the special events and additional shows, or get the shows early for paid customers only. And lastly, when enjoying the beauty of nature, whether backpacking, camping, or simply taking a walk, always remember to leave no trace. Thanks, and we will see you all next time.